The pick is in.
The Philadelphia Flyers have made a selection in the 2025 NHL Draft. I'm Gil Martin, now joined by the co-host of Locked On Flyers, Rachel Donner, and the Flyers have selected Jack Nesbitt with the 12th pick. And Rachel, were you surprised that they traded up to get this pick?
You know, I think that given that they picked a winger earlier in the round, the possibility of that certainly went up. But I also thought they might want to do something else with that 22nd overall pick. But it's really interesting because Jack Nesbitt is somebody that Russ Cohen, my co-host, and we talked about him literally Tuesday on the show as a potential pick for the Flyers at 31. And not at 12. Now, is it unreasonable to pick him at 12? I don't think so. Because you look at, he's 6'4". Now he does need to fill out. He's only at like 185 pounds right now, but he is a center. He's a little bit older. He turned 18 in January. Power forward, playmaker. He throws big hits. He screams Philadelphia Flyers in a lot of ways, which is why we had him at a 31 kind of a pick. But both Russ and I mocked him to the Winnipeg Jets at 28 because we really thought he just said Winnipeg Jets on a platter, given all of that. He scored really high at the scouting combine in a lot of the events. He had the 5th largest wingspan there, 6th in the VO2 max test. So even given the fact that he hasn't quite filled out yet, his fitness is really good. He has very, very good agility and balance. He scored really well in those tests, 16th in the anaerobic fitness test. And so I certainly understand why the Flyers did this. This is a very Philadelphia Flyers thing to do, is to trade up for somebody that they are just zeroed in on. And we saw team president Keith Jones's reaction on the broadcast that he was just giddy to have this guy. And of course, this is a very Keith Jones kind of player.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Were you happy with the value on the trade?
You know, I think this is the time will tell to see how Nesbitt develops here, because I don't think I'm ready to make that decision. I'm not even going to really look at what the Pens do with those picks, because the Flyers would make different decisions. So I think it's an apples and pears comparison. I would have liked them to have the opportunity to have an additional first round player that, you know, it increases the chance of them hitting on 2 of the 3. Maybe they could have picked up a goaltender if they had all 3 picks in the first round. Maybe they still will in the second round. But I do think that spreading the wealth a little bit in these picks might have been a better option. They could have gone with a defenseman. But I really don't think you can second guess this pick until you see what happens with Jack Nesbitt at this point. That's kind of where I'm at.
One of the things he needs to work on is his skating. How do you feel about that? How much of a concern is that?
I don't think it's a huge concern right now. Again, he has time to develop those skills. And as long as he gets the right training, you know, he's in the OHL. He's had opportunities with Team Canada, and their coaching and development system is very, very strong. And I absolutely know he'll get those opportunities to get the kind of coaching that he needs. Is it a guarantee? No, but is it very, very likely that those skills will improve? Absolutely.
How far off do you think he is from being NHL ready?
Oh, several years. I think it's going to be a 2 to 3 year project for him. I think, again, he does need to fill out, and he's going to need to learn how to deal with his new body eventually to play at the NHL level. And he does, like I said, like to throw those big hits. And will he be able to do that at the NHL level? Not the way he's built right now. So I think that he's going to have to learn how to use his body a lot differently as he develops. But I think he'll have the time to do it.
Yeah, he definitely should. Well, for continued coverage of Jack Nesbitt and the Philadelphia Flyers, check out Locked On Flyers on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.